Hello YouTube, this is Lisa and from Lisa Haas's Custom Sewing here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have another replication of a vintage pattern that we need to do for my client. Sorry. What we're going to be doing, I found this just looking on the internet and sent it to my client, and she really loved it because she likes these old style patterns. And I thought this was a really neat pattern because of these style lines. Let's take a look at those right quick. First thing we have is going to be our center back seam allowance and this back waistline being dropped down to it looks like about a high hip right here into a point. Also, we need to notice that we have a peplum, and the peplum has draping around the center back. Now, if you take into consideration from the center of the shoulder seam right here all the way down to right here and even down to right in here has no fullness. All of our fullness has been added to the center section of what would typically be a princess seam style right in through here. We would have a section over here, we'd have our center back section, and then a section in the front. So all of these drapes, it seems to me, have been added to the center back section. Now, the thing that's interesting about this in the front is that basically this is a peplumed jacket that has been altered to drop and have drapes. But here they have included the peplum from around to the very center front into the top part of the jacket. So we're going to recreate that. Also, we're seeing that we have some draping around in the same area on the skirt. So we're going to be recreating that. Let me get a quick drink of coffee here. Another thing that she wants, she found this, and she wants something similar to this treatment, not on the skirt, but on the peplum back here. Of course, we don't want it nearly this wide. We just want something thin, maybe 3/8, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, something like that. We also have to consider our fabric choice as to how much the trim is going to weight down this in through here. We still want this to flow. Also, we have to determine whether we want this trim to end right here and then go all the way back, or if we want to go ahead and pull it up into the front and go all the way back. I'm not quite sure what she wants to do. Basically, what we're looking at here is just a peplum jacket, long sleeves, a jewel neckline, and a center back seam. So let's go on into our PatternMaster boutique. I have my client's chart up. I've just switched over to my desktop, so I got my Camtasia working again. So we have my client, and let's go into jackets. What I'm going to show you right here in this video is how to apply a Photoshop created scroll to our pattern and pattern editor so that we will have placement lines on that peplum. So let's go ahead. We're going to go with a peplum jacket. Now if we look over here, we see there are no darts. Okay, so let's start looking at darts. I am going to leave a side and a torso dart right here, simply because we know we have this torso dart here that we have to match up with the peplum, and we really can't see whether or not we have a side dart. So for the simplicity of creating the pattern, I'm going to go ahead and leave this sideways dart. Now I'm going to take out any torso darts in the back. I don't think we're going to get any kind of a dart. No, we're not going to get any kind of a dart in through the back. We're just going to have a shoulder seam, a straight center back seam. Okay, this looks good on my darting. Let's go into my sleeve. Now you're asking me how I'm going to recreate that dart into the peplum, and I'll show you. Now, my preference for Amy, for my client, is to give her another inch in length. So that would be about 18. We're going to have 2 inches fine. Now here, she doesn't like a real tight sleeve. So I'm going to open this up another 2 inches. That will extend this underarm seam out, and it'll give her more fullness in through here. No collar. That all looks good. No pockets. I don't think there's anything in the details that I need to do. I could do... No, it's not even letting me do a high-low. We'll have to put that in ourselves. Okay. Nothing else. Peplum style. No, not going to change any of those. Okay, let's go into settings. I want to put a shoulder pad in here. So I'm going to raise my armhole, my shoulder height, to about 3/8 of an inch. That'll give me a little bit of room in here to put a shoulder pad. Now, buttons. 5 is fine because I'll manipulate that on my own, but I'm going to put about a 1-inch button on. That's going to extend this out. Let's go ahead and take our seam allowances out. You know me, I don't like to work with the seam allowances whenever I work with Pattern Editor. All right. I think we've gotten everything. All right, let's save it. Now, I did save just a sample, so I'm going to save this as Amy's in particular. Now, I'm going to make myself one. Amy Butterick 6759, and I'm going to call this one YouTube, because this is the one I'm putting on YouTube. Okay. You can see I have a lot of test garments for Amy. We're still trying to get this vest. A classic vest is supposed to hit at the waist, but she doesn't like it. So now we're going to open patterns in Pattern Editor. And we're still working on the proper length of a vest that she is going to like. It looks like it's going to be going to end right at the high hip line. All right. Now we've got our Pattern Editor open. Let's zoom out. We need copies. Select those, CO, copy object, 1, bring them straight down. Hold your shift key to get them straight down if you have to. Now, we're not ungrouping yet, we're going to pull this over here. Now, let's zoom selected first, and then we're going to zoom window right in through here. And I'm just going to take this guy, line him up there, and line him up there. Let's zoom previous, zoom window right in through here, and do the same with this guy. Then we're going to go ahead and ungroup him, all of these pieces. Oh, mail's in. I don't even know who I got mail from. Alright, zoom previous, select, 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 ungroup. Let's zoom out. Now here's the trick. We need to extend this dart down. So first thing I'm going to do is to move my text over here. We're going to work on the front pattern for now. We'll work on the back here in a minute. Okay, let's just do some lines. Right click here, drag it all the way down. Space key. To repeat, right click, shift, bring it all the way down. Space key. Right click, bring it all the way down. Now let's do some intersecting. I just like everything to meet. You really probably shouldn't have to do intersecting unless you really wanted to, but I just like everything to meet up. Okay, this bad boy needs to be broken. And we're going to break him. Let's just break him in the center right here. Now, we need... Let's take one of these guys out. Oops. And we need this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy. We're just going to separate our front piece out. Okay, copy object, 1, Now you notice how I left that peplum piece at the bottom alone. Okay, we need to intersect this to this, and here to here. Let's do here to here, and let's do this guy to this guy. All right, this is our front jacket piece. Let's go ahead and put our dotted lines on it. Because all this is our sewing line, we don't want this. Let's just remove everything we don't want dotted. That's a cutting line. We can go ahead and leave those as dots. Let's go ahead and do that because I'm going to do every stitching line as a dot. Cutting lines aren't going to be dots. This is not going to be a dot. And that won't be a dot. This will. That's a cutting line. And I don't know how much hem allowance. I'm going to leave the hem allowance line undone. Alright, now let's CH for change. And put it in as our sewing lines. Okay, let's get out of that. Now you can go ahead and do your offsets for your cutting lines. Now let's get this. What we have to do here is just to get this much of the peplum, and here. Alright, let's copy object. Why is this not working? Copy object. I did. What is your problem here? Okay, try it again. And we want this and this. Yeah. Okay, let's pull him over here. I'm just going to pull him a little bit down. And then we want to intersect this with this. And this with this. We know that's a cutting line. All these lines here are going to be sewing lines. So we're going to change those. Alright. Alright, now we've got, let's just group it right quick. And pull him down a little bit so I can get him. Let's group. Now what you're going to find here, once we put this in here, all of this is going to be taken up together. If you put this here and then you pull this guy out, let's see, where is he? Did I do that right? I think I did. Because this, oh yeah, that comes together. So basically what you're going to have once you do your dartings in through it is this. Okay. We probably could make that a little bit bigger, but we'll work with that for now. Let's go to the back now. This is what's going to be fun. All right. We want the peplum, the point from where the waistline drops down to a point in the center back, we want that to be at about high hip, which is going to be 4 inches. She has an 8-inch hip drop, so we're going to measure from there. We're going to put a point 4 inches down right here. Now let's arc. Let's arc from that point up to here. Now, I've said before, when you do these arcs, try to blend them into that line. Now what I'm going to do is to zoom window after I've kind of placed it, and then I'm going to move my point MP and just don't select the line, just right click and that'll automatically select it. Now watch right in through here where I am blending that into the line. That looks pretty good. That looks really good. Let's zoom previous. Okay, this, we actually need to have another one of these. Let's copy that. Okay, and we're going to just leave him where he was and click him once and click him again. Now let's get the text and move it over. Alright, all of this really, except that, and that, and that, and we don't need the hemline. All of this needs to be changed. Let's go ahead and put our stitching lines in. Okay. First of all, let's go ahead and take this. Let's take all of the peplum and pull it out of the way. Let's copy that. And we're just going to pull it out of the way. Let's go ahead and intersect right here to here. Alright, now let's do I think that's it. Copy. Yeah. And intersect. Now, since we're doing the back seam, let's go ahead and put that seam allowance in. Let's offset it. 0.625 is 5/8 of an inch. We're going to go ahead and do these so I don't forget. Click twice, hit your space bar, and that's it. Okay, I need to join those up, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Okay, let's take the peplum. And that's a 4-inch. I need to add another. Let's add another 8. So we need to locate a point from this 12 inches down. Right there. And then we're going to right click on this point and do our arcs. Right click on this point. And I think that might work. Let's intersect this to this. There. And we can get rid of that. That looks okay. Alright. Now, we need to find, let's group that right quick. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take him and pull him back over here. Let's zoom window in and get him placed properly. There we go. Zoom previous. I need to know approximately, let's do a line. This is our, I want this to locate a midpoint, LM, and then I'm going to do a line. Right click, hold down your shift key and go all the way down. And move point. Hold down your shift key to keep getting it straight. Alright. Let's go ahead and move the point again on this and just bring him down to the peplum. So we're going to hold our shift key, right click at the shoulder line, and then just drag it down. Alright, now we're going to take that and our peplum, pull it back over. Alright, zoom selected. Now, let's do some intersecting from right here to here. I did. Oh, that's why it's ungrouped. It's grouped. Okay, quit. Ungroup. Now let's intersect. I was wondering why it wasn't working. Okay, and here to here. Now let us break this line right here. Now let's locate 6 points from this point. No, we're going to do multiple points, sorry. Alright, now we need to copy this 6 times. Fine, act like that. Now we're going to try and space them pretty close. It doesn't have to be exact. So let's get rid of the points now. I just want to get rid of those points, that's all. Alright, let's do some intersecting because we're going to do slash and spreads. That was wrong. And we're going to need to break this curved line down here. We're going to do about 1.5 inches spread because I do want a large spread. Now let's do some breaking. My coffee's getting cold. I'll have to take a drink here in a minute. Let's just get this bottom one done. Okay. So we've got the bottom curve broken up. Let's intersect at the top now. Now I want all these vertical lines to stay solid. And then we're going to break all that because I like to see solid lines when I'm moving things around. It's just easier. Okay, break. If you're having problems, hit your escape key. Sometimes that'll escape it from a command. I will say this is not the most what's the word I want? This is not the best CAD program, let's put it that way. It does what it's supposed to do. It's a simplistic version of a CAD program, but CAD programs will really do so much better. But this is good enough for what I want it for. And the price on it wasn't that expensive, so does everything I need. If you're going to go into furniture design and stuff like that, you're going to need a better CAD program. Okay, now let's zoom out. Let's SV for slash and spread, and we're going to start right up here on this far left line. Now you right click at the pivot point, and then you right click to the bottom of that same line. You select which line you want pivoted. Right now we just want that one. So we're going to go 1.5 inches clockwise. And then we're just going to continue on. Now one thing about this slash and pivots, if you do your right click on it, then your mouse will jump around. If you do a left click, it'll be okay. And also, I did. Okay. When you select your items to be pivoted, it's a lot easier if you go to the left side and exclude the line you're pivoting until the very end selection. Otherwise, you're going to have to do 2 extra clicks instead of just 1 extra click. Okay, you can always tell which one you've worked on before because the next one is a straight vertical line. Now watch. If I went all over here, not only would I select that line, but I would also get these 2 pieces which I don't want. See, there's my 2 extra clicks. However, if I do it my way, click here, grab outside of that line, I only have 1 click. See? I know I smoked. And now I did. It's kind of touchy. Okay. I really wish this would automatically move the cursor to this first, but it doesn't. There's a lot of things that when they ask for the wish list on the new version, I'm going to have a say in that. I would like to have a list of recently opened files in Editor. Because sometimes I'll make 2 or 3 of the same garment and forget which one I'm working on, as far as Editor is concerned. Okay, now you can tell we've got a nice undulation right here. Let's do this last one, and then we're going to have some fun. Alright, last one, 1.5 inches. And we're doing it clockwise. There we go. Now let's do some arcs. And that doesn't look all that good. You know what? Let me zoom out. I think I want to copy this guy and then just leave him there. SB. Let's see if we can do 2 in there. Let's just take one of those, because I need to see where we end for my arcs. There. Alright, let's try right click, right click. Let's just see what we can do. And we're going to just put a quick one to here. Let's zoom in right through here and see what we got. I don't like that at all. Delete. What would happen if we did this? It's not going to be right. Well, it's not too bad, is it? But I lose, how much do I lose here? I lose, okay, I lose about 1 inch. Let's take him out. Let's move the point here. To here. Not too bad, but it's not perfect. Move point. Let's right click him. Some previous. Okay, that doesn't look too awfully bad. How much did I lose right here in length? And it's really not going to matter that much. Almost 5/8 of an inch. Okay, that'll be okay. Let's get these guys out of the way. And then the next thing we're going to do is to intersect all of these vertical lines with this arc hemline. Okay, let's see if we can get some of these guys out of the way. Oh, that looks good. Okay, let's do some intersecting. Sun's home. Let's get rid of this point. Coffee time. Okay, we're gonna stop for a moment and I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. We're in the process of intersecting all of these lines. Let's get over here, intersect, and then we're going to be breaking this other line down here apart. So let's just go ahead and finish this out. We're going to do the same to the other part, the top side, the waistline. Let's go ahead and do some breaks. Now you've seen me do this a few times, my slash and pivots. So you know why I'm breaking this all up at this point. And one more. Let's see, is this already broken? Yes, it is. Okay. We're going to break this guy then, right there. All right. And let's go up. And we're going to go in here. Now these are pretty much already intersected, but let's do it again just to be on the safe side. And then we're going to break. Okay. And almost done. And now what I'm going to do is to pivot these about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to do all my pivots clockwise. And I went ahead and put this extra line in through here. Okay, that's not right. Is this already broken? Yes. And that's already broken. Okay, so let's zoom out. All right. Let's go ahead, SV. Looks like I already, I know, I already did that. Okay, lost my place there for a minute. Now, we need to figure out how far up from this hemline that we want to place this trim, if I can get my browser window open again. I've either got a slow processor or my memory's going bad because everything's taking a lot of time. Okay, so basically we want to figure out how far from the edge of the peplum, the hemline of the peplum up, we want this trim. This line here is a 12-inch line. Let's locate a point, how about 3 inches above the hemline. Now you just right click there, put 3 inches and hit enter, hit your space bar, click the line, right click, hit enter, space bar, click the line, right click, hit the enter, space bar, and space bar is just repeating the process, of course. So we're going to put this up there at 4 inches all the way across so we can figure out where we're going to be placing this trim. Now this application is going to be suitable if you're going to make Rodeo Queen dresses, you're going to make costumes, anything that has some kind of a pattern applique on top of it. This would be a real good process to do it if you're really not good at drawing. Okay, let's put an arc from here to here. Try to get in the middle of those dots if you possibly can, and that's not right. So let's take it out and let's do our arc from here to here. And I'm right clicking on that to get it right on those points there. Now let's do it again. We need to actually, this is going to be, that's 12, and we went up 3, so that's 9 inches. This is 8. And we need to go up 3. So let's locate a point from here. 3 inches. Okay, now let's do another arc. Alright, that looks good. Now let's go ahead and zoom in right here. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and select all these, and then I'm going to do a ZS for zoom selected. Now here's where we're going to have some fun. First of all, open your Photoshop or Paint Shop Pro or Fireworks or any other graphic art program that you're familiar with. Everyone should have something called a brush, or it's basically a shape file. It's a vector file is what it is. And here's where we're going to add that trim. Now, first thing I want to do is to print my screen. PRNT SCRN, I think, is on the keyboard. So you print your screen. Go over to your graphics program, File, New in Photoshop. Now my screen is 1680 by 1050. So that's the size of document I want to work with. And then I'm going to hit Control V for paste. Alright, now we have got basically this pattern right here. Now's where we're going to have to use the brushes. I've already selected a brush. B, you have your brush right here. You right click, it's brush, pencil tool, or color replacement tool. We're using the brush. Up here we have our selection of brushes that we can use. That's what I had. Here's another one. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Let's work with that one. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually make a copy of this basic layer, hide the underneath one. Now I'm going to make a transparent layer on top of my basic layer. See, if I turn my eye off, none of that shows. Now I turn my eye back on, it all shows. But we're going to be working on a transparent layer. So the first thing we're going to do is just to take this brush. We want to make sure we have a black as the foreground color, and we're just going to put that on the transparent layer. Now, you want your object control tools. On Photoshop, it is V for Victor. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this puppy around the other way. I'm going to flip him that way, and I'm going to, let's see, and I'm going to put it, now here is where you can, this is basically what's called a vector, V-E-C-T-O-R, vector file, which means it's scalable. So I'm putting him right on the edge right there. And let's go ahead and OK him, and I want to zoom, which is Z. Let's go back into V. Now, I don't want, if I rotated him here, it's going to mess up here. So let's not do that. And instead, right here, see how my cursor turns into a little compass point almost? And it's not there. This little section right in the center of this is your anchor point. Click and hold, and I'm dragging it right over here, so that whenever I rotate, now it's going to rotate from that anchor point. I like that. Now, let's make a copy of that. Use your arrow keys on your keyboard to kind of scooch it out of the way. And I want to edit, transform. I think I want to flip it vertical. Yeah. No. That's not right. And Control K. No. Edit K. Alright, let's transform again and flip it horizontal. That's better. Sometimes it's hard to tell. And then I'm going to put him right there. Now, remember, the arrows on your keyboard actually help with a precise alignment. This one looks like it's pretty good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my anchor point and put him right in the corner there, so that when I pull this guy up, let's look and see where he's resting over here. Okay, he's right in the middle. This arc right here is right in the middle of our placement line. Alright, what's Z? and hold down your Alt key and zoom out. And let's look at it. Now that would be a lot of trim, but I'm really just showing you basically how I do it. Now let's go ahead and select both of these. What you do, you click one, hold down your Shift key, and select the other. And we are going to group these. Let's link them, and then we're going to make a copy. And let's use our arrow keys. Hit the V key to get your select object, and here we go. Let's go ahead and grab him and put him, I want to zoom right into here, and then we're going to do that. Okay, let's pull our anchor point up to here, and then we're going to twist this puppy. Now, here is the trick. We've got this side fine, so let's go ahead and OK that. And now I'm going to unlink these and just get the top one, get my anchor point down to here, and then curl him up that way. That's good. Let's zoom out. Now we only need one, and this is the one we need here. Let's make another copy of him. Uh-oh, what happened? I think what I did was put it in a folder. There's a copy. Move him over. You can grab him probably here. Oops. We want to actually lock this layer so it can't be moved. So let's go back over here and here, so that when we grab this guy right here, he's going to go, let's zoom. Alright, he's good there. Now let's move our anchor point over to here and bring him right up to around there. Okay, that looks good. So, oh, what did I mess up? I messed something up, didn't I? Okay. This guy is the one that needs to be moved over. And I still got my bottom layer locked. So let's just go ahead and pull him over to here. Zoom in through here. And let's align him. Move his anchor point to right here. And angle him to right there. Okay. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now comes the tricky part. We have to link all these layers. Let's unlink. I think they're all unlinked now. Okay, let's link these all together. And we're going to, we need our info tab up here so we can see how big this is once I click on these object control handles. Once I click on the object control handle, it's going to tell you it's 15.5 by 5, pretty much inches. So we're going to leave that, and we're going to go with a file, new file. And what am I doing here? Trying to get this guy out of my way is what I'm trying to do. There we go. Okay, what I say, 15.5 by 5, file new. We want inches. And what we're going to do, come on, I want you down here. We're going to go up to the layers that we linked here and pull them over to this new selection. Okay, let's go over here and make him bigger so we can see what we're doing. Now, what you have to do is get this as close to the top as you can without cutting any of it off. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to do a file, save as, Amy Butterick peplum trim PSD. And let's go into our libraries. And, okay, now let's go ahead and file it as a file. Save it. It's FD for file to save for web and devices on Photoshop. And we're going to save it as a PNG. You could save it as a GIF, but I prefer a PNG. PNGs are going to be a lot clearer in the swoops and whatever. So we're going to save it as a PNG because we want it to be transparent. And we are going there. Alright, now you ready for the fun part? Let's zoom all. FM for file merge. And now we need to go up to documents, and we're going into my sewing folder, and there it is. Okay, now here comes the fun part. Look how big this is, look how big your peplum is. Right here is the X to select this. So let's just kind of get him out of the way. And I do want to make a copy of him over here so I can see what I'm doing. Now, we need to figure out how much bigger percentage-wise this arc is from this right here. So let's go ahead and zoom into here first. I want to know this plus this equals 22.528. I'm going to go ahead and bring my calculator up because we're going to need that. We're going to put a text here. And I actually want that a little bit bigger so I can see what I'm doing. So let's take that up to 2 inches. Okay. Zoom out. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. We need to figure out how big this is. So here's what I do. I just start with an arc. We know that that place to here, and let's just put an arc to this point right here. That's pretty good. And then we're going to do it again. Right, space bar, right click to here. Now, what I want to do is to figure out how much or how long these lines are. They're 127.19. Okay, I need to go back to my calculator. I put the peplum measurement in, the 22.528, and then I wanted to divide it by 127.19, which is the trim length. That means that the peplum is 17%. This line here, this 22 inches, is 17% of this. So we need to shrink this, what, 87%? We just subtract the whole amount of 1, 82.28%. Let's put that in. Shrink. Okay, so what I do here, this guy, I'm going to go, what is it? It's scale. SZ, that's right. I wanted to shrink proportionally, and what did I say? 82.28. See if there's another 79, 2879. Let's try that. Apply. Grab this again, pull him down here. Let's ZS for zoom selected so we can place him. Okay, let's zoom out. So we're pretty close right here. We are pretty close in getting this aligned. And that's basically all you do. Once you do that, you will be able, your pattern piece, once you remove all these center lines here and through here, because we don't need those. I'll leave this side, this princess seam line. Basically, here's how your pattern is going to spit out. So you're going to be able to have this printed on your pattern piece. So you know exactly where the lines are going to lay. And that's basically all you have to do. Let's get rid of him. We don't need that anymore. Okay, that's basically all you have to do as far as getting that trim on there. And we're still working on figuring out what fabric we want to use for this. Of course, you'd go back in and add your seam allowances and everything to your facings and your sleeve and everything like that. I actually want to line this, and you could have gone into your pattern editor, gone to your collar tab, I think. Used to be collar tab. Linings and facings, and choose your linings and facings here, and then those would have gone and printed out along with all of this. Because we did so much so many changes, especially in through here, I opted to make a lining out of the pieces right here. And that's basically what I did. So that's about it. That's all you have to do when you want to get some kind of an applique. There are lots and lots and lots of free brushes out there for Photoshop. Let me just free swirl. I've got CS3. I just want swirl brushes, and you just do a quick search. Waiting. It's not quick on my computer, that's for sure. That's exactly how I found my brushes. I just go for free swirl brushes. Here's a nice one. This is the images. This is what you can do with brushes. Let it clear up a little bit. There. Here is a list of Photoshop brushes here that you can get. Here's another image to show what the brushes do. This one as well. So you've got a lot of different options for Photoshop brushes that you can download. Here's one, all free downloads. I've downloaded brushes from them before. Some of these sites are going to require that you say okay before you go and get a brush. But I think this was one that I got. Let's see if he'll give it to me again. Yep, save file. It's WinRAR, so same as like a zip file. And then we're going to go ahead, show you how to load a brush up. I'm just going to extract it. Okay, let's go back into Photoshop, and let's hit a B for brush, and let's load a brush right up here. It's going to be in downloads, and where is it? It's a RAR file, and I did go ahead. I don't know where it is though. Side flare, Texty, Mandela. No. Huh. Don't know where it went. Let's look at that again. Show all downloads. Creative drawer. And we're going into downloads. Just trying to show you is probably, there it is, okay. So let's go back into my Photoshop. And I want to go into load brush, downloads. Where are we? Libraries, desktop, me, downloads. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't find it, but I couldn't. Here it is. Okay, here is the brush. Let's get over here to where I have a white background so you can see. Let's go ahead, zoom. And I do want, okay, brush. Let's go and see what kind of swirl brushes this is. Let's put another layer up here. Oh, that's really big. Now on brushes, see this is at 2000 pixels. I just want 200. And there's a brush. You can do that with any kind of a brush. So that's basically it, now that I kind of wasted my time on the last part of it. But that's basically all you have to do. And I will go through probably the sewing of this garment as we go along, or at least some pieces of it. To show you what we're doing. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Y'all have a great day. Subscribe. Comment if you have any special requests that you would like to see. Give me a shout out, or message me, or comment and ask me what you would like to see me do, and I'll be happy to try and oblige you. I don't really have that many subscribers yet that I shouldn't be able to answer all comments. So just let me know what you want to see. I'll be happy to help you out with that if I can. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching.